You're listening to The Drew Yari Show.
That's the wine and diner with kings and queens.
You're looking at the man. You're listening to The Drew Yari Show.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It is Thursday. Still got a cough. January the 30th, 2020, exactly at 6 p.m. on the dot. Welcome to another episode of my podcast, The Drew Yari Show. I'm your host, Yari, here to entertain the masses with my animated personality, as you guys can already tell. Tonight I'm going to try and keep this episode very short. I know I say that a lot. I'm going to try and at least keep it under an hour. I have a midterm tomorrow for this for the fingerprint class I was telling you guys about last week. So I want to try and just buckle down and study so I can get that B or that A. I need at least a B to pass. So I'm going to try and keep this episode as short as I can. Luckily, there's really a few things that I have on deck tonight. I guess the first thing we can jump into is just Kobe Bryant, man. Died on Sunday in a helicopter crash with, there were 9 people on board, including Kobe and his 13-year-old daughter, Gianna, I believe that was her name. Oh my god. Like, the first time I saw the news, actually, I was on Twitter, and I don't even follow TMZ, but I somehow get TMZ posts. And all of a sudden, I just see something from TMZ, and it was marked 10 minutes ago. And it said, Kobe Bryant died in a helicopter crash. And so I'm thinking, okay, this has to be fake. Which, it's funny that I say that because I was just listening to Wrestling Court with Julian and Rob. Shout out to those guys. Rob gave me a shout out earlier. It wasn't really a shout out. He just mentioned me in a topic that actually pertains to Kobe, which we'll keep talking about. Where Rob had said in the air, I think it was Rob it was Rob, where Rob said in this type of era we live in, anytime we hear news like that, where it's like, oh, somebody died, our first instinct is that, oh, it can't be real. Like, it's a fake. Because, how many times have we seen online, social media, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, where somebody supposedly died, but then you find out it's a fake. Like, you found out it was from a fake page, like, we got this covered. I'm talking to you fuckers. With a guy like Kobe, it's just, you didn't even think about that. Because Kobe was so young. When someone that young dies, it's always shocking. And you don't want to believe it. I mean, because it's kind of like with Stanley, about a year and a half ago when he passed away. We already knew he was sick. We already knew that, he was living on borrowed time. So when he passed away, it was still sad, but we knew, his number was up. With a guy like Kobe was, he was young, he was in shape, he wasn't sick. He didn't have any debilitating disease. He was a father of 4 girls, one of whom was on that chopper with him. And they crash unexpectedly. And the story behind Kobe taking a helicopter was, he would take a helicopter to and from practice, to and from, games, because it got him there quicker. I mean, because I don't live in LA. I don't live in California, but I know people who do, and they can all attest to this, that, LA traffic fucking sucks balls. So that I can understand. I mean, you would not. There's no amount of money in the world that would get me on a helicopter. Yeah, because I'm a pussy. I'm afraid of heights. Obviously, Kobe had more balls than me, so big. It's kind of weird saying big ups to Kobe at this moment, but yeah. I mean, so yeah, I see the news on TMZ, which the story going around is that TMZ got the news before his family did, which I don't know how that was fucking possible. I don't know how you can get this news before his family did. I mean, I would like to think TMZ, they truly didn't know his family didn't know, when they did. And then when they found out, they're like, oh shit. They didn't know it, and we knew it first. Like, holy shit. But, yeah, it became true. It was all over the news, all over ABC, ESPN. ESPN was showing the Pro Bowl, and they immediately they didn't stop the game, but I think they had an announcement during the game, and they just started having ESPN broadcasts of just people giving their thoughts on the situation. Jay Williams, former NBA great, or not? He wasn't an NBA great. He was more prominent in college, and he came to the league, and he had one season. He was supposed to be, this big time player, and unfortunately, a tragic, I think it was a motorcycle accident. Kind of ruined his career, and he's been able to make a living since. Now he works for ESPN, so good for him. He was very visibly shaken by it. Like, you can tell in his face and in his tone, where he just said, I don't want to sound mean. It's like cliche, but he just said, just call your loved ones, tell them you love them, put aside that petty. And he dropped, he said shit live on TV, which they didn't hold that against him. I mean, come on, just a national icon just passed away, so of course everybody's gonna be shaken by it. He said you gotta let that shit go, and he said, I'm sorry for cussing. I know there were NBA games that day. Spurs and the Raptors played, and I have a problem with them, showing the reactions of people crying whenever they get this kind of whenever they get bad news. Like when Isaiah Thomas, not the Pistons, but Isaiah Thomas, he used to play for the Celtics. His sister passed away on the day of a game, and they show him on the bench, just like, out of it, like, he's crying, and it's just like, why the fuck do you need to show that? Why do we need to see that? Yes, we know he's going to be sad and devastated. We don't need to see that. I don't need to see Tim Duncan crying. I don't need to see Greg Popovich crying. But, I mean, it was tough to watch. And during the game, of course, they had a memorial tribute to him, and then on the first 2 plays of the game, each team ran up the clock to 24 seconds in honor of Kobe. Other games, did similar things. But, and then, of course, you had to have these fucking internet trolls just come out the woodwork and just make their little opinions known because we fucking asked for them. Like, come the fuck on. Like, and this is what Rob was actually talking about. What he noticed. I think he commented on it, but like, this fucking idiot. And I don't even, you know what? I'm just gonna pull it up real quick. Like, this complete jack off. He posts something along the lines of, now that Kobe's dead, his non-black wife can give some of that money back to the black community. It's like, you're a fucking cocksucker. Like, you are seriously a piece of shit for even fucking posting that. Like, Jesus Christ. I'm trying to look for this post, guys. But I'm also trying to, like, talk in between. Okay, here we go. This guy named Brother, I'm not even going to say his fucking name. I'm not going to give him any attention. Fuck him. He said, let's be clear. I'm not laughing or celebrating, just pointing out facts, so keep your Laker tears out of my comment section. With that being said, let's see if his non-black wife and kids are going to use his fortune to invest or better the black community. What a fucking idiot. And I just, and I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't give a fuck if I'm not black or I don't understand the black community. But it's just like, why is everything always a fucking race thing? That's just fucking ignorant and stupid to put. A lot of these people who are posting, stupid, dumb shit like this, they need to take into account his family could more than likely see what the fuck these people are posting. Keep your opinions to yourself. Kind of like that fucking cunt Evan Rachel Wood, that actress, who, and again, I don't have the tweet. I wish I saved it. Where she and her Twitter is private, because she knows people are going to go after her. To where she put, rest in peace, Kobe, and condolences to his family, but he was a rapist. It's like, come the fuck on. First of all, let's get one thing straight. Kobe was acquitted of his charges. Alright? And, personal opinion, and I've had this belief for the longest time before Kobe passed away. I don't think Kobe raped her. There. I don't think he did anything. He admitted that he fucked her. That he had sex with her, that he cheated. So, there you go. I think it was just sex, and maybe she wanted more. Maybe she wanted money, and Kobe didn't want to do that. So she decided to cry rape. Which, I only say that because I have heard this fucking story 8 million times. Where, and it's been like this for the past couple years with this whole Me Too thing. Which, and I'm not even gonna get into that. I mean, where's Trezor? You need her for this conversation, but I'm not even gonna get into that. I'm not even gonna talk about Me Too. I can talk about that till I'm blue in the face, but the point is, with these people, these trolls are just coming out of the woodwork saying, "Oh, he's a rapist. He was a rapist. He was a rapist. He did this." It's like, shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. No one cares. No one cares about your opinion. No one asked you. Alright? He was acquitted. End of story. He more than likely didn't fucking do anything. Ugh. But yeah, just back to Kobe. Just rest in peace to Kobe. Rest in power to Kobe. To his daughter. To the 7 other people that are on the flight. To the pilot. One of whom was a baseball coach. 2 other kids, I believe, who were actually his daughter's friends. And what makes it even more sad, I mean, it's already sad, but like, they were flying to his basketball camp. 'Cause when Kobe retired, he still cared about basketball. He still wanted to preach, I guess this sounds kind of odd, preaching the word of basketball. So he actually had his own basketball camp. Teaching kids how to play basketball. And he was taking his daughter and her 2 friends over to that camp. And, they again, have a problem with them showing people's reactions to bad news. They show a photo of the camp, receiving the bad news, about Kobe and Gianna and the other people. It's just sad. Again, he was young. He was 41. What they made it sound like was that he was still beginning his career. Like, he already won an Oscar for making that short film. And, I had heard that he was getting started on more projects. But, it's still tough to process. And again, it's just... Hold on, I got sidetracked, I'm sorry. And again, I know it's a celebrity, and, we assume these celebrities just, they're, superhuman and they don't bleed like us, but they do. They're human. They're all human. Kobe was a father, he was a husband, he was a friend, he was a brother, he was a son. And, for me, I've always been a big basketball fan. And, growing up, in the early 2000s, it was my Spurs versus the Lakers. Granted, though, my Lakers would beat the Spurs a lot. But I always respected Kobe. I was never a Laker fan, but I always respected Kobe. I respected his talent, his drive, his intensity. He never half-assed anything. I always, personally, in his last few years in the league, they really should have treated him a lot better. Surrounded him with more stars, with better shooters, better players, but yeah, he didn't go out the way he should have. But he had a great career. I would say behind Michael Jordan. Next to Michael Jordan as the second greatest player of all time, it's Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron. Bar none. There's really no other way to put it. But rest in power to Kobe. Condolences to his family, his wife. Poor girl. But let's move on to our happier topic. Monday Night Raw. I'm sorry. That's my thing. That's how I deal with sad situations. Should we start with Raw or Royal Rumble? All right, let's just start with the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble was this past Sunday, which was the unfortunate news about Kobe. And I know in the pre-show they paid tribute to Kobe, and then during the actual during the main show, they said something as well. Did you?
Hello.
Yeah, what's going on?
I just finished my guitar lesson.
Oh, nice. I was just about to get into Royal Rumble.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, I'll mute my mic.
All right, if you want to jump in anytime to talk about anything, you can.
Okay, cool.
All right. So Royal Rumble. The pre-show began with Sheamus versus Chad Gable. I call him Chad Gable. I refuse to call him Shorty G. That's a stupid fucking name.
I agree.
Exactly. All right, so I have zero interest in seeing Sheamus in 2020, just like I had zero interest in watching Sheamus in 2010. So I'm just going to make this very short and brief. I thought Sheamus looked good out there. But who does this match really benefit? I mean, if Chad Gable, I'm sorry for that. If Chad Gable won, I mean, he maybe should have used the rub. He maybe should have had that rub more than Sheamus. Sheamus is way over the hill. I don't see them putting a title on him ever again. But it seems like they want to make him a thing for whatever reason, God knows what. But yeah, Sheamus won. Next match, go ahead.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I thought he had degenerative spinal stenosis or something. Why are they letting him compete again? Why are they letting him on, in engage in physicality?
I don't know. Maybe he did the same thing that Edge did. That's my only guess. I have no answers. Okay. I just report the news, man.
I'm gonna look into this. Okay, I'll let you know what I come up with.
Sure thing. All right. So next match is Andrade versus Humberto Carrillo for the United States Championship. Andrade retains. A pretty good match. It's expected of these two. You would never expect these two to come out and half-ass anything. I guess we can get to the topic at hand, kind of jumping, forward. So Andrade and Humberto had a rematch the next night on Raw. It ends in disqualification after Zelina jumps in the ring. And so Humberto wins by disqualification, but Andrade retains. Humberto decides to get revenge for what happened a month prior where Andrade DDT'd him on the exposed concrete. So Humberto did the same thing. I gotta say, Zelina, her emotion, her facial expressions, they're really on point. Like, you can tell that she deeply does care about Andrade. You know, the question is it like a romance thing, or does she look at him and go, "Oh no, my investment." Kind of like Brock, kind of like Paul Heyman when he sees, Brock, getting the shit beat out of him. He's like, "Oh no, my money, my cash cow." So it's probably just the cash cow thing. But news broke after, I think it was either during or after the show, Raw. Andrade is suspended for 30 days for violating the wellness policy. Which explains why, I guess, why they did what they did, because they need to write him off TV. Because in real life, I guess in real life, they would think if you're going to DDT someone on solid concrete, you shouldn't be back by next week. So, my only question is, why not take the title off of Andrade? Why not let Humberto win the title? And then, it's 30 days, so it's 4 weeks. In about 4 weeks, you have Andrade come back, and that can set up a Mania match. And you can also maybe add Rey Mysterio in the match, which I don't think he would go for, because supposedly Rey wants to have a mass versus career, or was it a career versus mass match? No, that doesn't sound right. I think is it career versus title or mass versus title? I think it's mass versus title. Or I don't know. Fuck it. But why not just take the title off of Andrade? I mean, would that have made his gal Charlotte mad if he had the title taken off him? Fun fact is that Raw was in San Antonio on Monday. I have a friend of mine that actually... I'll read that in a bit, did you? After I'm done with this. I have a friend of mine who worked at the AT&T Center who, when I posted that, he commented and he goes, "That explains why Charlotte was bursting out in tears." So, I guess they just found out about this today. Or maybe during the show. Or they decided to wait until that angle, finished off. But I mean, does anyone really know why or what did Andrade do? Like, did he get caught with something? Because I think Don Tony hinted at that it may have been a situation like they wanted him to fly down to take a piss test and he wasn't able to, so that's why they had to suspend him. I don't know. That's what he kind of interpreted. But there hasn't really been any news. Oh, I haven't seen any news about supposedly what he did or what he got caught with. So. But like I said, in all actuality, they really should have taken the title off of Andrade. I mean, it would have made sense. But then again, this is WWE we're talking about. Mayo Clinic, diseases, conditions. So I'll make sure to read that after the show. Did you? So yeah, that match was 14 minutes and 20 seconds. I need to late. Alright, I'm trying to get comfortable, guys. Ooh. Alright. I'm on my bed, so I'm trying to just get as comfortable as I possibly can. Oh, man. Alright, so next match, you got Roman Reigns, or this is actually the main, the non-pre-show. So it's the actual, main show. You got Roman Reigns defeating Baron Corbin in a Falls Count Anywhere match that went on for 21 minutes and 20 seconds. This match was what it was. And I think Rob from Wrestling, Wrestling Court, suggested that this should have been a pre-show match. Which I agree, but it's Roman Reigns. They're not going to put their golden boy on a pre-show match. I mean, I don't know if Roman Reigns would be opposed to doing a pre-show match, but I doubt they would ever put him on a pre-show match for any reason. I like the spots in it. The one spot I popped for is when Roman threw Corbin in the porta potty, but there was no potty. There was no piss. There was no shit. Corbin just comes out, clean of any shit or any excrement or urine. He just looks like a clean guy, which that kind of pissed me off. And then, of course, you got his cohorts, Rude and Ziggler, having his back, and then that's when you have the Usos come out and, take Roman's back. The match ends with Roman spearing Corbin on top of the dugout. Not the dugout. I'm not really a baseball guy, so I have a hard time with the terminology. I guess where the players sit, he speared him on top, like on the top of it. So, someone listen to this and tell me what the fuck it is. I'm not a baseball guy. But yeah, Roman wins. Again, it was what it was. So now we get to the first Rumble of the night, which is actually the women's. The 30 Women Battle Royal. I wrote down the names, eliminations, and who were they eliminated by. I didn't write down times, so. First in was Alexa Bliss, and then second was Bianca Belair, who they must see something in Bianca Belair because they just let her fucking dominate in this match. She eliminated 8 women, which they said was a record. What they failed to say was that Shayna Baszler actually tied it, but we'll get to her in a bit. Alexa Bliss was number 1. She lasted a lot longer than she should have. She had 3 eliminations. She eliminated Kairi Sane, Mia Yim, which that was bullshit. And Chelsea Green, which I couldn't care less about it. Eventually, she was eliminated by Belair. The thing about Bianca Belair, I think something's missing. I know Rob was talking about this earlier. I'm quoting a lot of people, which I'm only quoting because I actually agree. Something about Bianca, there's something missing. He pointed out that she has no crowd connection. I think that's it. I don't know. When I see her, I'm not as invested in her as I should. I'm invested in Rhea because she looks legit. I guess I'm not invested in Bianca as much because I don't know, just her gimmick. I don't know. I don't know what her gimmick is supposed to be. What is her gimmick supposed to be? Like, if I don't know what your gimmick is, then I don't really care. And then I have a hard time caring. But I mean, she really. I mean, she's talented. I like her, but I'm just not that invested in her. So she was just chucking bitches over the rope. Third was Molly Holly, or Mighty Molly, who she has not aged a day. And when's the last time she's ever been on a show? I think it was was it Raw 25 or Raw 30, where the fuck it was? And then you had Nikki Cross. She ended up getting eliminated by Belair, so did Holly. Lana came out. She was eventually eliminated by Liv Morgan, she just, I mean, that's really all you gotta say. It's just, before Liv Morgan, at number 6 was Mercedes Martinez, who I believe she signed with the company. She did pretty good, but the audience just seemed like they had no idea who she was, which is a shame. Number 8 was Mandy Rose. Oh, there was a spot where it looked like she got eliminated. And then Otis just happened to be right there on the ground. And saved her. Which, I think if Mandy Rose ended up winning the Royal Rumble because of Otis, that would have been fucking cool. Like, literally, anytime she got eliminated, Otis was just right there to catch her fall. That would have been so funny. Like, I love Otis. Otis to me is a national treasure. The whole storyline with Mandy and Otis makes sense because you have two people that just come across as very likable, and it works. It pays off. And I like Sonya Deville, too. I like Sonya Deville, I like Otis, and I like Mandy. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville were eventually eliminated by Bianca Belair. Candice LeRae came out at number 9, who she, again, eliminated by Belair. I already said Kairi Sane and Yim, they came in and they got eliminated by Bliss. Kairi Sane came out to her weird pirate music, which I mean, didn't she already have a new interesting? Dana Burke coming out, who somehow has a job in this company. How? I don't know why. This started the trend of a dick ton of blonde women with facial surgery and breast implants. So how many blondes has that been so far? So you have Alexa Bliss, so that makes 1. You have Lana. You have Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan, I don't really think has surgery. Maybe she has fake tits. She obviously did something to her face because she looks a lot different than she did when she was in NXT. Mandy Rose. I like Mandy Rose, but she still falls into the category. So now I got Dana Brooke, so that makes it 5. Well, I need to count the rest of them. So there's Charlotte, 6. I mean, would you really count Beth Phoenix as a blonde? Yeah, I guess you kind of have to. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's 11. I count 11 blondies, unless I'm missing one. Yeah, so someone correct me if I'm missing one. Dana Brooke was eliminated by Belair, so good. Tamina was in the match, Mish's girl. For sure, I know Wrestling Soup did not like the Rumble at all. Like, especially Mish. Mish was just like, he almost sounded angry about how much he hated it. But hopefully he saw this and he was smiling. Belair eliminated Tamina. Then you got Dakota Kai. And after her was Chelsea Green, who Chelsea Green eliminated Dakota Kai for whatever fucking reason. And then Chelsea Green got eliminated by Alexa Bliss. Next one up is Charlotte, who ended up eliminating Bianca Belair, which I guess that makes sense because I doubt they would ever give any of these to an NXT man or a woman. I mean, the point of these is just to have surprise opponents. But come the fuck on. Next was Naomi, which we haven't seen Naomi in a while. She had a pretty good reaction, which I like Naomi. I mean, there's a whole thing on Twitter where she was going after the fans for chanting boring, which I mean, depending on how you look at it, I mean, it was what it was. You can't really blame the superstars for getting mad. I mean, I know. I don't know. I guess it's not my place to say it, but I don't know. It depends on I guess it depends on the person, the situation. But I mean, I didn't really hold that against Naomi. I like Naomi. Naomi's always come across as very likable. She seems like a really nice person. I mean, her husband's seems like kind of a dillhole, but but yeah, Naomi came in, had a hell of a reaction. And then she, of course, what I called, the ground is lava bit, where she was eliminated, but she wasn't really eliminated. And the one thing I found very odd was that she decided to take her time getting in the ring, which, in reality, don't you think Naomi would want to jump in there when there's only one more person left? Like, to have a shot at winning? I mean, because that would have been interesting if Naomi, who's been out for so long, jumps in when either Charlotte or, whomever, Shayna. Shayna and Charlotte. Well, soon she waits to see who gets eliminated, and then she jumps in. And it looks like she's going to win. A la Santino Marella in the Elimination Chamber, where it looked like he was going to pin Daniel Bryan for the title, or when he wasn't the last one eliminated in the 40-man Rumble against Alberto Del Rio, which I was actually popping for that. I'm like, holy shit, is he actually going to win the Rumble? But we'll get to Santino in a bit. Eventually, Naomi was Or, we'll get... Well, I'm not going to talk about that yet. They have Beth Phoenix. Again, another one who has not aged. She looked like a brick shithouse. And I mean that in the nicest possible way. She looked like a killer. She looks like she could have worked full-time tomorrow. And she would dominate. Like, that would be amazing. But she did pretty good in the Rumble overall. There was a part in the match where she hit her head on the turnbuckle, and you can like clearly see blood coming out from the back of her head, and that actually worried me because I was thinking, does she have a concussion? Like, is she like? Hopefully, she's not working with a concussion during the match. Luckily, from what I hear, it wasn't as bad as we possibly thought it was. Maybe it wasn't like, she had like this huge gash on the back of her head. It was more like she just cut it. Like, she just had like a simple, basic everyday cut. So, I mean, I'm glad to hear she's okay. I've always liked Beth Phoenix. Let's see. Next one was Toni Storm, and her unusually fat ass. That was bad. Next one was Kelly. Nah. She got eliminated by Charlotte. Next one was Sarah Logan. No one cares. Eliminated by Charlotte. And then you got Natalya, who, of course, her and Beth have to team up. What is it? The Team Glamazon, I guess is what they call it. And then you have Xia Li from NXT. Xia Li with her unusually, or with her tree trunk legs. Holy shit, that girl has some big-ass legs. I mean, who's that girl on NXT who... She's like a Carmella ripoff, and she ended up fucking up her nose. Like, Xia Li just, kicked her right in the face, and she fucked up her nose. I forget her fucking name, but she's like a Carmella ripoff. Then you got Zelina Vega, who's, cosplaying as Mortal Kombat. You got Shotzi Blackheart, who, again, I'm confused with what her gimmick is supposed to be. She's supposed to be like Tank Girl. Because last night on NXT, I was watching her. She literally comes out in a tank, like a mini tank, which I actually thought was kind of cool. I'm starting to warm up to her. She seems like a cool chick. And then you got Carmella, of course. Tegan Nox, who had her shiniest wizard. And then probably the single most wasted spot in this Rumble that literally could have gone to anyone else. Santina Marella. Who, if anyone can remember, 2009 WrestleMania 25 in Houston, they had the Miss WrestleMania Battle Royal. And then they decided to send Santino Marella dressed in drag to win the thing. And it's stupid. It was a stupid spot. Like, I didn't think it was funny. I didn't think it was funny then. I didn't think it was funny now. It was stupid. I mean, I thought it was kind of funny when Natalya and Beth, kind of not double team, but ganged up on him, because Santino and Beth Phoenix have passed, because in storyline they were a couple. And so Santina takes out, the snake, sock puppet, and decides to what the name was the fucking move? To Cobra bite himself and eliminate himself in the match. It was a wasted spot. It literally could have gone to anyone else. And then number 30 spot went to Shayna Baszler, which when Santina came out, I assumed that it was going to come down to Shayna and Sasha. I'm guessing the only thing I can think of is that Sasha was supposed to be in it, but she couldn't because she was still hurt. So I guess Santina was a last-minute addition. I mean, they really should just put Santino in the men's Rumble. Have him come out and just have Brock rape him and throw him out of the ring. So, I don't know. But Shayna comes out and just dominates. She had 8 eliminations, which tied Bianca's. Let's look at her elimination. She eliminated Naomi, Beth Phoenix, Toni Storm, Xia Li, Zelina Vega, Shotzi Blackheart, Carmella, Tegan Knox, and am I missing anyone? Nope. So eventually it came down to her and Charlotte, with Charlotte eliminating Shayna, which I was not very pleased about. Charlotte did not need to win this match. I mean, I guess they wanted to give it to her just to give it to her. To keep her happy. You got to keep the Golden Girl happy. But Charlotte really did not need to win this match. I mean, she's already a 25-time women's champion. Why did she need to win this match? I mean, the point of these Rumbles is that give it to somebody who has the most momentum. I think Shayna had the most momentum because she was already the longest running NXT Women's Champion in history. She already lost the title. She's still on a hot streak. So giving it to her would have made a lot more sense. But again, you want to keep Charlotte happy, and the crowd. I noticed the crowd was not very happy at all. They were pissed. I mean, credit to Charlotte. Charlotte knows how to work the crowd. She knows how to deal with animosity. I mean, you can tell that she was like, I don't give a fuck. They let me win. What do you want me to do about it? Which makes sense. I mean, because if you're Charlotte and Vince or Triple H says, "Hey, we're gonna let you win the Rumble. What do you think?" Is your reaction gonna be like, I think you should give it to Shayna. Matter of fact, I think you should give it to Dakota Kai. I'm just throwing out random names. Of course, Charlotte's gonna accept it, so I can't blame her for accepting it. I blame the company for letting her win. Because again, why did she need to win? The point of these Rumbles, Battle Royals, tournaments, give it to somebody who needs it, who actually has a hot streak, who needs it, who needs the exposure. Shayna needed the exposure. I have zero interest in watching Charlotte versus Becky, in which the rumor is they're going to make it. Charlotte's going to challenge Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's Championship at WrestleMania, which it's a good matchup. I like it. Only if Rhea wins. And Charlotte does not need to be the NXT Women's Champion because she is not in NXT anymore. She's on the main roster. And if Rhea were to win that match, I mean, sky's the limit for her. But I mean, and Rhea's already had the exposure. She's already had the exposure to the casual audience. So it's better for her to win if this matchup is going to happen. The other rumored matchup is Becky versus Shayna, which I called. I mean, that seems like the ideal matchup. Shayna seems like the one to actually beat Becky. I guess where does that leave Bayley? Well, we'll talk about Bayley right now, actually. The next match is Bayley defeating Lacey Evans to retain her SmackDown Women's Championship. Really bad match. Really, really bad match. The crowd did not seem to care about this match at all. I think it's just the performers in the ring. Lacey I'm starting to like her a lot more than I used to. She's, again, she can only get better. And she looks like she's getting better. It's not like an Alexa Bliss situation where she doesn't want to get better. She doesn't want to improve or change her style. Lacey actually wants to be committed to wrestling, and she wants to get better. She wants to change her style. She's still a little green, though. Honestly, the one thing that's really holding her back is the stupid fucking Southern Belle gimmick. For the love of Jesus, for the love of Jeebus, please get rid of this gimmick. It's stupid. It's not cool. It's stupid. Why would you want to be a Southern Belle? It's just dumb. It's a dumb gimmick. Let her be her. You already, her real life is more interesting than a Southern Belle. She's a legit killer. She's a badass. Let her come out dressed as Sonya Blade. Or give her a Sonya Blade-esque character. that would be a far more interesting gimmick than a Southern Belle. Like, it seems like they slowly want to get rid of the gimmick, but especially when they're talking about her family and she's bringing up her past. As a casual fan, though, when you hear her talk about her as a Marine and talk about her as a family, it's like, well, then why do you dress like that? Lacey, she's clearly not ready for prime time. It's obvious. Like, they want to prep her for that, but I don't think she's ready. Especially when you put her in a match like that. Like, if you put her in front of a huge audience, and that's a huge stadium, by the way, it's not going to work because she's not ready. And then you put her in with someone like Bayley, who is just... It looks like Bayley just doesn't care anymore. It looks like she does not want to be here anymore. She does not care about this gimmick. She doesn't care about being the women's champion. I mean, I don't know how many years she has left in her contract, but I don't know. Like, I would be surprised if she decided to resign back with the company. I would... I wouldn't be, because I think this is the perfect spot for her, because I don't see her really being a thing in AEW. I think it would, like, give them a shot in the arm if she went to AEW, because God knows they need it in the women's division. But her and Sasha, they look like they don't want to be here. Sasha should have been their biggest star in the women's division. I mean, it ended up being Becky, which is good for Becky because she deserved it. But Sasha should have been their biggest fucking heel, female star. And Bayley should have been their huge, white meat female babyface. She should have been the female John Cena. But instead, they decided to give her this atypical, just generic heel character. But it saddens me because I've always liked Bayley. And it's just, again, you can clearly see in her face that she does not care. Like, she does not care anymore. Which I don't blame her. They have saddled her with so much shit. They have made her look bad. I mean, this is your life, Bayley. Do we even need to talk about that? Making her look like a complete pussy. It doesn't work. So, again, that was the worst match of the night. 9 minutes and 20 seconds. That was a lot longer than it should have been. Next match, we have probably the best match of the night. The Fiend defeating Daniel Bryan to retain the WWE Universal Championship in a strap match. Was it me, or was the Houston crowd not as invested in this match as they should have been? Because it looked brutal. Like, getting hit with a belt, there is no way you can fake that. And I do not pity Daniel Bryan after this match. I don't pity Bray Wyatt after this match. I mean, I already feel sorry for the guy having to wear that hot-ass mask for a whole match. And then on top of that, he's getting whipped with an actual belt. But the match was good. I honestly thought Daniel Bryan was going to win. It looked like he was going to win. And I would not have been opposed to Daniel Bryan winning. Because the way it looks is going to be The Fiend versus Roman at Mania, which, I mean, they want to give Roman his heat back, which, he's kind of earned it because they pushed him the right way. But we've already seen Roman get these opportunities. I mean, yeah, we've seen Daniel Bryan get opportunities, but I'd rather see Daniel Bryan in the main event of WrestleMania. I mean, I'd rather see Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. That seems like it'd be a much better match. It'd tell a much better story. And also, The Fiend doesn't need to be the champion. I mean, you can have The Fiend versus The Undertaker. Let that be your match. Let that be your WrestleMania match. But, yeah, Daniel Bryan was just whipping the shit out of The Fiend. He was actually hitting him in the face. I mean, yeah, he was wearing his mask, but it still had to he still had to feel something. Eventually, the Fiend popped up and went with the Mandible Claw. I had a problem with that ending. I don't know. I didn't like the ending. I didn't like the ending of the match. I liked the match overall. I didn't like the ending. I thought the ending seemed a little rushed. I mean, because I get it. They want to make the Fiend look like this supernatural, being. Kind of like The Undertaker, where The Undertaker, would get hit with a steel chair and he would just pop back up. Or Kane. But I don't know. I didn't like the ending. It seemed like it was rushed. I mean, maybe they were going a little over time and they had to send him home, like Vince would say. But I don't know. Again, I guess they still want to make the Fiend look like an unstoppable monster, and that's where you bring in the big dog to put the Fiend down. 17 minutes and 35 seconds. That was the time. Next match is the second match of the night. Becky Lynch versus Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship. Becky wins by submission, getting revenge from last year when Asuka made Becky tap out. I like the match. These two seem like they have good chemistry. It's impossible for them to have a bad match against each other. I mean, hopefully WWE doesn't hear about this and go, "What was that? You want to see them wrestle 6 more times?" No, we don't. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea if this was like a tradition every year, like have Becky versus Asuka every year at the Rumble. But I don't know. That's just my opinion. That's just how I look at it. This is probably the best match I've seen Becky have in a while. And not that Becky has bad matches. Her matches as of late, especially in her title run, haven't been that great. They haven't been as good as they should have been. I liked her match against Natalya at SummerSlam. I thought that was pretty good. This was by far her best match lately in her big title run. There's a nice spot at the end where, again, they had a good story to tell. Where, the story was that Asuka had been constantly spitting green mist in Becky's face. And then, in this match, Asuka's getting ready to spit more mist in Becky's face, and then Becky kicks her, I think, right in the chest or the stomach. I think it was right in the chest. And then Asuka ends up spitting in the air and getting mist on her face. And then that's when Becky, puts the disarmer on Asuka and makes her tap, which, again, it told a story. It had a story to tell, and it finished it. But I wouldn't mind seeing these two wrestle again somewhere down the line. Just don't make this a thing where they have to wrestle like every pay-per-view. I like both of these girls. Asuka is in a position where I think she's in a position like a Daniel Bryan, where regardless of where she's at on the card, she's always going to be over. And it's incapable for her to have a bad match. Like, they can cool her off and then heat her up. And then cool her off and then heat her up. It's always going to work. She's always going to be up. And then last, we have the Royal Rumble. The 30-man Royal Rumble. Which I actually wrote that down as well. Wrote those names down as well. Stipulation that we already knew about this was that Brock Lesnar, as the WWE Champion, was going to enter in as number 1. He entered in as number 1. And number 2 was Elias came out singing a song called Sacrificial Lamb, which it seemed like an inside joke. I don't know if Vince, knew. Maybe Vince approved it and thought it was funny. Yeah, you're going to go out there and get squashed by Brock. But, yeah, Brock goes out to the ring and grabs Elias, starts beating the shit out of him, and then takes the guitar and hits him, and throws him out. Next is Eric Rowan. Brock throws him out quickly. Bobby Roode throws him out. Number 5 was John Morrison, which I had a problem with him coming out early. Why was John Morrison out early to get eliminated by Brock and not Dolph Ziggler? Like, why did Dolph Ziggler... Oh my god. Why did Dolph Ziggler and Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows get to last longer in the ring than John Morrison, who people have not seen in 8.5 years? I don't know. It would have made a lot more sense to have John Morrison later in the card, after Brock was gone. But whatever, they love Dolph. He was eliminated by Brock. Kofi Kingston came out. and got a little offense in. Lasted longer in the ring than his 3-second match against Brock. Or what is it, 5 seconds? Then Rey Mysterio and Big E came out to aid Kofi. And, you know, we all know about Rey Mysterio's history with Brock. It was interesting seeing Big E in the ring. I think it would have been, I don't know, I'm still under the impression that Big E's going to get a push sometime later in the line, but it needs to happen soon because, you know, he's no spring chicken. But Big E had an interaction with Brock I thought was pretty interesting, and then Brock ended up eliminating all 3 of them. Then you have Shelton Benjamin come out at number 10, which, you know, they talked about the history of Shelton Benjamin and Brock Lesnar, that they both went to the same college. They came into the rings together, and Shelton hugged Brock. There was a point where Shelton slaps Brock on the back. You see all this fucking water just splash out Brock's back. It was like slapping Shamu on the back. Brock looked like he was spent. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he's like, how many more of these I gotta do? Like, I want to go home already. I'm literally about to die. Brock eliminates Shelton. Shinsuke Nakamura comes out. Brock eliminates him. MVP makes his return to the company, which that was kind of spoiled. Somebody had took pictures of the arena and they showed his entrance being built, or his entrance video. MVP comes out dressed as Black Panther, which that's his gimmick. Over in the Indies, he dresses as different Marvel superheroes. Brock dancing to MVP's theme. Brock just looked like he was having fun. Like he just looks at this point in his career, Brock just wants to have fun. Like he wants to show people he's capable of being a goof too. So MVP's out. Next we have Keith Lee, which I was disappointed by, because I'm like, is Brock gonna eliminate him? Because Keith Lee was actually my choice to win. Now obviously Brock doesn't watch NXT, so he has no idea who Keith Lee is. So he sees Keith Lee and he's like, you know, like Brock's facial expressions his facial expressions are funny. He sees Keith Lee and he just goes, "Oh, big boy, huh?" And he looks at Paul and goes, "Who's this motherfucker?" So it was interesting seeing Keith Lee hang with Brock. Then Braun Strowman comes out, which right then and there I knew Keith Lee's going to get eliminated. Which it happened because Keith and Braun decide to have their little schmoz, and then Braun eliminates them both at the same time. So at this point, Brock has 13 eliminations, which ties Roman Reigns. Which I had a feeling that's what they were going for. Next is Ricochet, who comes out to get a little revenge for what happened on Monday, wherein Brock kicked him in the nuts. And Ricochet hangs around for a bit. Now comes Drew McIntyre, who the whole crowd starts to gets a little crazy for, because Drew McIntyre is a lot taller than Brock. He's not bigger, he's just taller. So Drew's teasing, "Come on, let's go. You want to go?" So they have a stare down. Ricochet kicks Brock right in the nuts, behind his back when he's not looking. And Drew McIntyre Claymore kicks Brock right out of the ring. So right then and there, the whole crowd goes fucking nuts. And Brock is just lying on the floor for a good 2 minutes before he decides to leave, which, again, Brock's expressions, his selling, it's good. It worked, because he looked dejected and thinking, "I'm going to get this motherfucker. Even if he wins or not, I'm going to get this motherfucker." Which right then and there, I think I knew Drew was going to win, because there's no way you can eliminate the WWE champion and not win. Like, he had to win. But, let's see. Ricochet got eliminated by Drew. Next was The Miz. While this is happening, and he eliminates The Miz too, but while this is happening, he's staring at Brock the whole time. You know, saying, "Hey, watch what I do, because that's going to happen to you pretty soon." Then out comes AJ Styles. After him was Dolph Ziggler, who again, I think his spot should have went to John Morrison. It would have made a lot more sense. Then Carl Anderson, for whatever reason. Rusev and Bobby Lashley, for whatever reason, were written out of the Rumble because they had a parking lot brawl and they weren't medically cleared to be in the Rumble. For reasons I don't know why. And then number 21 is Edge. Edge made his return to the ring for the first time since 2011 when he retired. The whole fucking crowd went nuts. I marked out. I was happy to see Edge. You know, there were rumors that he was going to come back and that he had signed a contract with the company, which we'll talk about in a bit. And, you know, Edge looking amazing, looking like a Viking. I mean, you can look in his face, he has crow's feet. But, he looked amazing out there. And, you know, doing spears, doing physical stuff. I mean, I guess he's got the Daniel Bryan, you know, thing going for him. He can actually take bumps, so he comes out there, eliminates AJ Styles after spearing him, which I don't know if anyone knows. AJ Styles apparently got hurt because I noticed he was eliminated very quickly, and the rumor is that he got hurt during the match after Edge speared him, so he ended up calling an audible and, you know, asked to be eliminated a little early. Which good for him. And then, let's see. Next you had King Corbin. After that was Matt Riddle. Well, Matt Riddle, he was just there for like a cup of coffee. And then he gets eliminated by Corbin. Which the talk is that Matt Riddle has heat with Vince McMahon. That Vince McMahon is tired of, you know, him starting shit with other people. I guess starting fights or arguments or whatever. You know, the talk was that Matt Riddle and Brock had a confrontation in the locker room before the Rumble, where Brock proceeded to tell Matt Riddle, you know, hey, you can stop tagging me and shit because I'm never, ever going to work with you. Ever. Never, ever. He didn't say never, ever, by the way. I just added that in there. To which Matt Riddle, you know, replied with, you know, I don't care if you don't want to face me. It's not your decision. I'm going to face you. But yeah, Baron Corbin throwing out Matt Riddle that quick. Come on. That's stupid. But yeah, after that was Luke Gallows, who, I don't know why Gallows and Anderson weren't even in the match, but whatever. I mean, yeah, they need to fill up a spot, but you could have put in better guys. Next was Randy Orton. Next was Roman Reigns. I'm just going to get into the last few guys. And Kevin Owens, Aleister Black, Samoa Joe. 30 was Seth Rollins, who came out to the ring with his posse. I don't know what you're supposed to call him. Of Buddy Murphy and the AOP, who helped him eliminate 3 people: Samoa Joe, Aleister Black, and Kevin Owens. And then eventually he gets eliminated. What is it? Let me get into the final 4. So I guess I'll just get into how they actually get there. All right, so let's see. Edge had 3 eliminations. He eliminated AJ Styles because, again, the talk is that AJ Styles called an audible and has to be released. Not released, thrown out because he was hurt. And then he eliminated Luke Gallows and Randy Orton. Because Orton tried to, I guess, eliminate him or RKO him, I forgot. King Corbin was eliminated by Drew McIntyre, which I thought was pretty interesting. And then Luke Gallows was eliminated. I already said that. Roman Reigns. Who did he eliminate? He eliminated Dolph Ziggler. So he had 2 eliminations. So it came down to the final 4 being Randy Orton, Edge, and then Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins realized he was being ganged up on. The other eliminated wrestlers went after his guys and chased them back to the locker room, so it ended up being just Seth by himself. So he tries to form an allegiance with Roman, like, come on, guy. Like, come on. it's us. We have a history together. Come on. And then Superman punches him, and then Edge spears him, Randy RKO's him, and then Drew throws him out of the ring. There's a nice spot with Edge and Roman where they don't trade off spears. Edge spears Roman, and it looked like Edge was actually going to eliminate Roman. Like, it would have been interesting. Edge hasn't wrestled a match in 8.5 years, and now he has a chance at winning the Royal Rumble. And no. Roman somehow hangs on, and Roman and whatchamacallit, and Edge are on the outside on the canvas fighting, and then Roman throws Edge off. So it comes down to Roman and Drew, with Drew eventually eliminating Roman. So now Drew is the winner of the 2020 Royal Rumble, which the crowd seemed to like. I was happy with it because I like Drew. And not because his name is Drew, because I actually do like Drew McIntyre. He has gotten a lot better in the ring. A lot of his stuff, it seems like it actually looks real. Like, you put him in the ring with Brock, it would make sense. Seth going in the ring against Brock did not make sense. Seth going over Brock didn't make sense. If Drew McIntyre were to go over Brock, it would make sense, because, flash forward to the next night on Raw, the crowd seemed like they were very invested in Drew. Like, they seemed like they were behind him, that they liked everything that he said. And, everything he said went over. Like, the crowd liked everything that he said. It wasn't like he got a big ovation because he came out, and then as soon as he talked, it was, dead silence. No, the crowd really popped for Drew. They liked everything they said, and Drew seems like he has a fire under his ass. Like, he has something to prove. His last run wasn't the way he wanted it to be. But now he's where he wants to be. He seems happy. And I saw that interview that he did. It was like right after the Rumble. It was like a kind of a mini documentary. And he just comes off as a very humble guy. Like, he seems like he's very humble, nice guy. And he just seems like he's genuinely happy. And I don't think I've ever heard a bad thing about Drew McIntyre as a person. Usually you hear a lot of drama. You hear a lot of people say, "Oh, this guy has a shitty attitude. He doesn't want to do jobs." No, you never hear a bad thing about Drew McIntyre. So I'm happy for Drew. Will it be Drew McIntyre and Brock Lesnar as the main event? I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be the main event. That depends how they push these matches going forward. It's obviously going to be Roman versus The Fiend. I have a feeling that'll be the main event because they want to push it as, Roman has gone through so many obstacles and now he's back in the main event. I don't know. Either or could be the main event. I don't have a problem with Drew versus Brock. It seems like a lot of people don't. Except for some people. No, I'm playing. But, Drew and Brock, I think it's a good matchup. Only if Drew goes over. So. And also because Drew just has the look of a wrestler. He looks like somebody that could, he can go through an airport, and if you didn't watch wrestling, and you saw him, you would go, he looks like somebody. He looks like an athlete. He's either a movie star, or he's a wrestler, or he's somebody. But he looks like somebody. But yeah, that's your Royal Rumble. My God, I'm coughing up a lung here. We can get into Raw for a bit. Drew McIntyre wanted to give out some Claymore kicks and beat the OC, both at the same time. Again, the crowd seemed like they were very invested in Drew, like he had him on their side. Rey Mysterio versus MVP, which I didn't see MVP coming back for a match. I mean, honestly, I didn't even think he was coming back to the company. But after the match, he put on Twitter that he already had his last match. That he was granted, to have his, I guess, a retirement match against Rey Mysterio because he wanted his son to watch him wrestle against Rey because Rey was his favorite wrestler. I mean, the match was okay. I was never really a big MVP fan. I'm not going to hold that against him, but the end of the match, Ray goes for a 619, and MVP, for whatever reason, gets up. Like, I don't know if he was supposed to get out of the way, and they decided to call an audible, but Ray ends up hitting him right in the back and goes for a frog splash on his back. So, I mean, that's something for the fans. The fans seemed like they enjoyed it. The fans seemed like they were happy to see MVP, so good for him. Aleister Black comes out against an unnamed competitor, wins in mere seconds, and then he cuts a promo, saying, I made the mistake of, wanting people to knock on my door. Now I'm just going to go out there and knock on theirs. I'm going to take a fight, which it's about fucking time. It's about fucking time they let Aleister out of his room. Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy, the tag team titles. Before the match, Seth Rollins assured Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens that AOP was in the back. He even showed video footage of them in the locker room. But, whatchamacallit? He assured him that they're there, and then, Samoa Joe says, that's neat. It's not like we work for a company where you can actually pre-record stuff. So he tells him to, say something to Kevin Owens, and he says something in his native language, and Kevin Owens goes, now we know that they're in your own personal locker room, and then Viking Raiders just beat the shit out of AOP. So now there's no distractions, there's no interferences. Now they can just have a straight-up match. What was next? So yeah, the match was pretty good. There was a spot in it where Samoa Joe goes for a suicide dive, which, for the love of God, can we please stop with the suicide dives? I mean, do one in a match. Don't do, certain people should only be doing suicide dives. But Samoa Joe goes for a suicide dive on Murphy and ends up hitting his head on the barricade, so he has to be taken out of the match. So it ends up just being Kevin Owens by himself. The match ends with, it looks like Seth is going to go for a curb stomp on the top of the canvas. Kevin Owens catches it and hits Owens. And then Owens goes to Murphy for a stunner. Murphy counters it. Kevin Owens stuns Rollins, and then Murphy pins Owens, for the 1-2-3 while in the tights. So they're your champions. And we were talking about Umberto. Oh my God, why am I coughing so much? Charlotte Flair versus Asuka, I think I fell asleep during it. So that's how I view the match. And then you had 24/7 championship, No Way Jose versus Mojo Rawley. Mojo Rawley wins. Whoop-de-doo. And then R-Truth came out and pinned he pinned Mojo, and then Mojo ended up pinning him back, which that was kind of a wasted segment. The 24/7 championship in general is a wasted segment. Next you had Liv Morgan looking as sexy as she did last night against Lana in a barn burner. It's better than Kenny Omega versus Okada. Liv Morgan wins, which I was actually kind of surprised by. I was assuming that they were going to give it to Lana because they had been giving everything to Lashley. They haven't even let Rusev get his heat back, which is fucking stupid, by the way. I hope they just finish this feud. Please. I want this feud to die a slow and painful death. I'm watching this match. One thing I noticed, Liv Morgan actually looked like she was trying out there. And it dawned on me because, Tyler the Trademark, explained it the best way, which was Lana is not a wrestler, she's a valet. Liv Morgan is a wrestler. Liv Morgan started out in NXT as a wrestler. She was never a valet. Lana started out as a valet, not a wrestler. So there you go. But again, I'm hoping this feud ends and Liv continues to wear that sexy-ass outfit. Like, Jesus. Oof. Eric Rowan was in action. I don't know who the fuck he faced. He faced somebody, and then he won, which nobody cares. And then he had Edge come back. Edge came back in front of a live San Antonio crowd, who were just white. Oh my god, I'm fucking more. It's white fucking hot for him. Edge comes out and just gives the whole spiel of, I always thought, what if? I got the neck surgery, I'm fine. I can take bumps. So what if? What if I came back? And then that's when Randy Orton comes out, which I already knew. That's going to be his opponent. Which, and again, I'll get into that in a bit, but Randy Orton comes out and just thanks Edge and says, anytime I was ever in a tough spot, you were always there for me, you always took me by the hand, you always helped me out. And then says, what if we do a rated RKO reunion? One more time, and then before Edge can say anything, Randy RKOs him. And then Randy gets a steel chair and smacks Edge on the back with it. Which, Edge was just selling the shit out of this. Like, I'm not gonna lie, this segment was kind of uncomfortable to watch. Because it's like, Edge, who hasn't been on, well, he's been on TV before, post-retirement, but who hasn't wrestled a match in 8 years, hasn't taken a bump in 8 years because of a, debilitating neck injury. Now that his neck is healed, now that he can make bumps, let's have Randy Orton put you in a move that requires him to make it look like he's breaking your neck. Let's have him hit you on the back with a steel chair, and let's have him put your head on another chair, and then take another chair, and then hit you on the head with that chair. Like, Jesus, it was rough to watch. Like, I was just sitting there kind of squirming, like, like it was rough to watch. Edge's selling, I think, is what made it work, because when he got hit in the back with that steel chair, you just see him groaning. Like, he's going, like, it was a lot better than that, but it was rough to watch. And during the match, Edge, again, like I said, Edge did a single concerto, but that sets up what looks like is going to be Edge's first match back, which makes sense because Randy is a safer opponent for Edge. I mean, for a guy who hasn't been back in the who hasn't wrestled in 8 years, Randy would be a safer opponent. And also because, Edge knows Randy. Edge has never wrestled against a guy like AJ Styles, which I think I would cringe at the thought of Edge volunteering to be put in a Styles clash. That's something I would not want to see. So, would it be Edge and Randy Orton at Mania, or Edge and Randy Orton at, the Super Showdown pay-per-view, which, I mean, I really hope Edge's first match in 8 years isn't at fucking Saudi Arabia. Like, come on. It's like with Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels' first match in 8 years in Saudi Arabia, in a pay-per-view that probably not a lot of people watched. I mean, you would hope it's at Mania. It seems like it'd be a better story to tell. You want Edge, to really get back into shape and kind of sell, this angle, because, he just got his skull cracked in, and all of a sudden he's going to be back in, when's the pay-per-view, like 4 weeks? 4 or 6 weeks? So, yeah. I hope it's not at Super Showdown. I hope it's at Mania. So, and I love the angle. So, what can we talk about? I guess we can talk about NXT. I kind of missed a little bit of NXT because I was studying for my exam this tomorrow. But I think I missed the big segment with Keith Lee. The first match was Finn Balor versus Trent Seven. Finn Balor wins. Finn as a heel works. I like him as a heel. But what are they doing with him in NXT? Are they just having him be the guy that puts over other guys, or just randomly wrestles other guys? Like, I'm assuming if you're gonna have Finn Balor in NXT, you're gonna make him a star. I mean, granted, Tommaso Ciampa was already kind of doing his own thing, and Adam Cole's already doing his own thing, and they want the whole thing with him and Johnny Gargano. But after Johnny Gargano, you need to make Finn the guy. Make him the NXT champion. Like, put that fucking title on him for the longest time possible. The Deonna Purrazzo versus Shotzi Blackheart. Blackheart beat Purrazzo. Good win for her. She came out in her little mini tank, which I thought was pretty cool. Keith Lee meets his challengers, Dominic Dijakovic versus Damian Priest. So, it could be argued that. And then Dijakovic beat Priest. So does that mean Dijakovic's going to face Keith Lee at the takeover in Portland? I'm just reading on Bleacher Report because these are the ones I missed, actually. Tommaso Ciampa stakes his claim for Goldie. Adam Cole found out what happened to his friends and walked out to face the Psycho Killer. Wormigo came out with a contract for the TakeOver Portland NXT Championship match. Cole walked into the ring too confident, and Ciampa powerbombed to the table. The challenger then signed his name in his own blood. Metal. So it's going to be Cole versus Ciampa at NXT Portland. It will be physical, it will be violent, and it might be bloody. Despite putting together a great card on Cole versus Ciampa is absolutely the main event, and the winner will head to the WrestleMania 36 weekend with that gold. I don't see them taking the title off of Cole, especially the Ciampa. I like Ciampa, but I don't see them taking the title off of him. Maybe they will. I don't know, because Ciampa never lost that title. Then you had Dakota Kai versus Tegan Nox. A grudge match for what happened at War Games. Dakota Kai decides to have her Titantron be the footage of her beating the shit out of Tegan Nox. Again, Tegan Nox is good at selling. She's good at selling your pain. Nox wins by what's it called? What the fuck happened in the match? Oh yeah, Nox ended up getting revenge by hitting Dakota Kai in the face with a knee brace and using the shiniest of wizard. So that, I guess that ends their feud. I mean, I would have figured this would be a match you would have had to take over. But I don't. Maybe they'll continue it. I don't know. Maybe they'll have like a steel cage match. I mean, that'd be pretty cool. Seeing two broads in a steel cage. Sorry for rushing through this, guys. I'm trying to get this done as soon as I can so I can study. I need to study. And then Chelsea Green with Robert Stone versus Kaden Carter. Kaden Carter wins. It was actually her first win in NXT. I'm not sold on Chelsea Green. I don't get what they're trying to do with her. Like, they're trying to make it into a big deal and then they have her lose. I don't know. And then you had the main event, which was the Grizzled Young Vets versus the Broserweights. It resulted in the Broserweights winning to win the 2020 Dusty Classic. Great match. I love Pete Dunne. I love Matt Riddle. I love their tandem. Their personalities really do mesh with each other because they're so different. You know, Pete Dunne's supposed to be the straight guy, straight face guy, and then you got, Matt Riddle, who's, this kind of is very free spirited kind of goofball, and their styles really work with each other. The Grizzly Young Vets, again, I'm not crazy about the name, but I like them. They're they're a throwback. They're kind of an old school looking team, and it worked. These two went out there and just had a hell of a match, which coincided with. I'm sorry, I'm getting my charger because my phone's about to die, and I kind of need it. Which coincided with the Broserweights win, capturing the 2020 Dusty Classic. So, which was predictable, because Riddle and Dunn are over. They're two of the most over guys in NXT, so I guess it's natural to give it to the most over team. Because the first team to win it, I believe, was Finn Balor and Samoa Joe. So there you go. And oh man, I need to take my meds. So yeah, that's pretty much the show. That is the whole show. That's pretty much everything I had to talk about. Shout-outs are indeed in order for a Wrestling Soup from Miss Joey and John Draper. Make sure to head to their Patreon. For just $5, you get all kinds of cool shit. And then you got the Don Tony and Kevin Castle show. Make sure to head to their Patreon for just $5. Don Tony lately has been doing a lot of live show, not live shows, but like video shows, which I'm hearing very good things about. I haven't watched them yet, though. I listen to the audio shows, I just haven't watched the video shows, which I should. Sorry about that. Kevin Castle has 2 shows. He has Castle Chronicles and Dark Chronicles with our good friend Trez, who I'd love to have back on one of these days. We just need to fit in. We just need to work around our schedule. You got Wrestling Court with Rob and Julian. They just put out a new episode. You got B-Show Brian with Brian J. Had him on the beginning of the decade. That was a great show. It was one of my favorite shows. I love Brian. I want to have him back on pretty soon. Then you got Ruben Prime. Ruben Prime TV. You can go to his website, where you can find different links on how to find his show. Primarily, I just go on Spotify. You got Tyler the Trademark. Look out for his podcast. You got Get in the Corner with Yuck Nasty and Dogger Baby. Yuck Nasty produced, created, pretty much made my theme for the show. I asked him, and he delivered. I paid him a hefty sum. Yuck's the man. The man, the myth, the legend. Wrestling Overdose with Shaheen. Shaheen designed the graphic, Nuclear Graphics. Make sure to head over there. You will not be disappointed. The man is the best at what he does. Shaheen's the man. Love the guy. Who am I forgetting? Bops and Bangers with my good friend Peter. You got the Architect podcast with my good friend Derek and his friend Irving. I'm not sure if they put out any new episodes lately. I haven't heard any. More than likely forgetting somebody. Oh, you got False Cut Radio with Andrew Carlick, really good friend of the show. And that is Texas Podcast Massacre. If you have horror movies, young, old or new, these guys review pretty much anything. I was on there for a third time to review Insidious Chapter 2. We were looking to finish out the trilogy. Or I told them, invite me whenever. Like if it's not Insidious related, we can review it. I'm down. But that's pretty much it. That's everybody. If I'm forgetting names, I'm sorry. Again, my mind's kind of focused elsewhere. I need to really study. But I will upload this. I will edit it and upload it as quick as I can. I'll be back next week. Again, if there's any updates, if I decide to bring a guest on, You guys will find out the day of. And that's pretty much it. Take care, guys. Have a good night, and peace out.